Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you know exactly what you need to do to achieve your goals, but you feel like you are still inconsistent, your life is chaotic, and you are behind on everything? Your bills are piling up. Your health issues are worsening. You are afraid that you are going to put yourself into more debt. And you are living with the stress of not being able to achieve your goals. If that sounds like you, this might be the most important video you watch this year. Here's the most frustrating part. You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're not broken. You actually have goals. You've watched the YouTube videos, you've read the personal development books, but execution just doesn't stick. You miss even just one day of work and everything collapses. The stress starts to hit. The money feels further away. Your health starts to slip. And you feel even more behind than you did when you first started. You ask yourself, why did I even try? Am I going to struggle like this forever? Am I going to have to fight for every dollar? But here's the silver lining. You can use this exact moment as a catalyst for change, so you can finally achieve your dream life. We've all heard the same thing. Make this the last day that you say, I am done. But how do you actually do this? We all know we need to do this and we know what actions we need to take, but how do we actually take the actions and be consistent? So let me share this with you to illustrate how I use these moments to change my life. So yesterday I had planned to record this and to post it, but I ended up getting really bad back pain and I was nauseous the whole day and I was just feeling really, really sick. So I decided to push it off until today. So a few months ago, I had pulled a muscle in my back. My phone cut out on me. So I was explaining how I pulled a muscle in my back, and this led to me having inflammation for 3 months. This inflammation caused brain fog, confusion sometimes. I was trying to push through my work days as gently as I could and also rest and heal. And it was taking me so long just to get back to where I was, just to be able to heal. So for the entire month of January, I was feeling really, really good. I was still a little bit tired, but I didn't think there was anything wrong going on that was wrong. But then yesterday, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I just couldn't believe how I was doing so good, and then it just hit me, and I felt so sick. Even today, I'm not 100%, and my voice is kind of going in and out, and I have congestion, but I am still able to do what I love to do. A little bit of brain fog, as you can tell, but I'm still showing up, and I'm still here, and I'm still focusing on my health. So ironically, this became the best example for this presentation. So the event that happened yesterday was I got sick again. I went into a panic attack because I have anxiety around being sick. And I started to notice that my mind started to go to a very dark place. So I had to make sure that I took my mind out of this dark place. I said, okay, I really need to think about how to change my sleep routine, because if I make it healthier, I can get more sleep. I can heal faster if I sleep more. So I completely changed that around. So that was the first thing I did. I also decided to take bolder actions to achieve my dreams. So if you know what the Pareto principle is, this is taking 20% of actions that get you 80% of the desired results that you want. So I decided to take more high leverage actions. Here's where my framework comes into play. You are going to first use this moment that you are in to become the catalyst for change. When you say, today, I am done living my old life, I am done playing small, you mean it. And you not only mean it, but you take action to prove it to yourself that you are done struggling. You are done living your old life, and you are now stepping into your new life. The second step is to create a specific goal with a clear deadline. So, for example, my goal is to make $5 billion through my businesses by the end of December this year. Then you are going to take one action to start achieving that goal today, or if you are feeling bold, take 3 actions to achieve that goal. The action I decided to take was to create a pitch about my business, and then at the end to ask people to recommend business contests in the comments. This is a major step outside of my comfort zone, and I encourage you to make sure that your actions are actions you have never taken before, because this ensures that you are not going to get the same results you've been getting. The next step is to take these actions and then to collect feedback. Make sure you are seeing what results you are getting. That way you know exactly how to adapt your strategy. Let's say, for example, you put out a YouTube video and you have very low views and nobody's really staying past the 5-second mark, even though the video is 5 minutes long. You need to completely restructure that video, and you might need to do a hook, context, framework structure. This is actually a true story because I noticed that my videos weren't getting that many views until I released a video with a hook, context on the problem the audience was having, and a step-by-step framework to solve that problem. And that video is, my phone cut out, that video is now sitting at 967 views. It is my most viewed video on that channel. So if I didn't look at my results and adapt my strategy to provide more value for my viewers, I would have never gotten that many views. So now going forward, I'm going to use that structure because it's a structure that works. So let's say I decide to make applying to business contests a daily action. Let's say on a particular day, I cannot find a contest to apply to. So what is the next best action that I can take to obtain business funding? Well, I could share my mission on social media of what my business is going to help clients achieve, and I can tag my current products. So if you can't take the action you have planned to take, or you get sidetracked for some reason, you take the smallest version of that action and make sure it doesn't take you as much time as the original action took you. So, for example, if your original action was going to take you 10 to 25 minutes, only aim for about 5 minutes or less on the smaller version of the action. And this is explained further in the diagram to my right. So, instead of just saying, oh, I couldn't get to that action today, I guess I'll get to it tomorrow sometime, and then you never get to it, you just go to the smallest version of that action possible. And the more that you do this, you are actually moving forward and achieving your goals faster than if you would have just said, oh, well, it's all or nothing. If I can't do that action, then I'm not going to do anything today. And everybody gets into that state of mind. But the important thing is to do the smallest version of that action possible. A great example of this are writers and entrepreneurs. They get into this all or nothing mentality where they say to themselves, if I can't work on this for an hour, I'm just not going to do it. And this ensures that you never get anything done. So what I've done is I say to myself, okay, if I can't get an hour done, I'm at least going to get 30 minutes. If I can't get 30 minutes, I'm at least going to get 15. And you just keep going down the line. And there are some days where I've said to myself, okay, just do 5 minutes of work, just so you can get some words on the page or just so you can get something going with your products. So that is the entire simple system. When you do this on a consistent basis, success stops feeling impossible and starts feeling inevitable. You might be thinking, I won't stick to it. I've tried things like this before. This system ensures that you plan for failure. Most systems don't account for failure. They just assume that you're going to be perfect every single day, or that eventually you're going to build up that motivation to be perfect every day. We are not perfect people. So why are we trying to build perfect? Okay, so perfect example of how we are not perfect people. My phone keeps telling me I ran out of storage. I keep deleting and it keeps telling me I still don't have enough storage. So if there was ever a perfect example of how we are not perfect human beings, therefore we should not strive to be perfect in every single action we take, it's this. Because for this video to even exist right now, I've had to go over my script, rework it, change lines, re-record lines. Like, nothing about this whole process has been perfect, but it still is going to be a resource for people. So do you see how even when things don't go as planned, they still end up working out? Like, you don't have to be perfect in your work to get perfect results. And I hate to use the word perfect. I guess you should use the word desired results, but it's just the universe trying to say to you, hey, you don't have to be perfect. Not every single action you take has to be perfect. Therefore, why are you trying to use a perfect system and trying to be perfectly consistent? Plan for failure, and then you can find a way to overcome that failure. So sorry to go off on a tangent there, but it was just a perfect illustration of how we don't have to be perfect. So moving on, I wrote a 67-page guide to help you to create simple life systems based on the framework I just shared with you. So this guide is a workbook, a journal, that is going to help you to create systems based on your specific goals. And in the journal, I have also included ones that you can just pull right from the book and start using in your life. So go to the bio on my YouTube channel and get the guidebook for only $10. This is going to help you to implement these systems into your life. And I am currently working on a guide called The Complete Life Overhaul, which is going to help you to upgrade your life one area at a time. So I want you to get used to this framework that I've shared with you in this video and in my guidebook, and I want you to start using it before my next guidebook comes out. So that way you can start making progress on your goals, and then the next step is for you to completely upgrade every area of your life and actually raise your standards and stick to them. Let me ask you this. If somebody walked up to you and they said, for $27, I can help you achieve your goals in every life area, would you pay them the $27? You would. It would be a no-brainer. For $27, you can transform your entire life. You would take that deal any day. Now, I'm going to tell you, I can't guarantee you results. I cannot guarantee that your life is going to change. I cannot guarantee results. You are the only one that can guarantee yourself results for a number of reasons. So I'm going to say it again. I can't guarantee you results from any of my videos, from any of my books, from any of my content. I just cannot guarantee that you get results. You have that responsibility to make sure that you use these systems and that they work and that you are consistent. We've been sold a lie that it takes years to achieve our dream lives. If you really want to change your life today and you make decisions and you take actions, you are going to achieve your dream life. It may not happen in one day. It may take some time for you to achieve your dream life, but you can get there faster with systems. You can get there faster by taking action today and making decisions today. So stop playing small. Go get the guide in my bio and start living the life of your dreams. And now I am going to be answering your questions. So the first question I got was how to stop thinking negatively. So, for years, I struggled with severe trauma and anxiety until I started reading Coffee Self Talk by Kristen Helmstetter. This book taught me how to replace my negative thoughts with positive beliefs. People would be emotionally abusive towards me. So I would repeatedly hear all of these bad things about myself, and then those became my default thoughts. So at 16 years old, I was depressed, I was anxious, and I was just not happy with my life. I wasn't achieving my goals. And then by time I became 24 years old, after reading Coffee Self-Talk and using it as a daily practice, I am now pursuing my dreams. I'm not afraid to go outside of my comfort zone and actually take actions on my goals. My first recommendation would be to get the book Coffee Self-Talk for Dudes, because Coffee Self-Talk is more geared towards women, and that one really did change my life. Now, today, what you can do is you can write down 3 statements, such as, I am so positive. I always find the positive in everything. Everything is always working out for me. You can do your own variations of these statements. When you first start repeating them, you're not going to believe them. But the more and more you repeat them, you can repeat them multiple times a day, and I do that, and that's the fastest way to rewire your brain to accept new beliefs. But you're going to repeat them every single day, even multiple times a day when you need to. And your brain is now going to stop defaulting to the negative thoughts, and it's going to start defaulting to the positive thoughts. It does take time, it does take consistency and practice, but it will change your life. When I first started doing content and I started thinking about the businesses that I wanted to build, I kept saying to myself, there are no opportunities for funding out there. There just aren't enough contests out there for me. There's no way that I can win these contests. I kept saying that to myself until I realized that that was keeping me stuck. So what I did was I started telling myself that I can always find solutions to problems. I can always find ways to fund my business. I have opportunities available that I just have to find. And once I started to flip what I was saying to align with my goals, that's when all of a sudden I started seeing these opportunities that I didn't see before. It's a long answer, but you need the full context to understand how it works. When I first started reading Coffee Self-Talk, I really was thinking to myself, how is repeating a few statements every single day going to change my life? And then as she started explaining in the book how she used the power of positive self-talk to change her life, how it wasn't just manifestation or do this and you'll feel better. It was literally a rewiring of your subconscious programming. That's when I started to really understand how it worked. And immediately I went from being very skeptical by reading the intro to, okay, getting past the first few chapters, finishing the book in a day, writing my script, and ever since then, that is now how I live my life every single day. I am reading my script in the morning every day, and it is helping me to see opportunities that I couldn't find before.